Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here, coming back at you with another video. So what you're looking at is a Kawasaki, I believe it's a KM100 motor. Doesn't really matter. This is a cast iron cylinder, so that's the reason why I wanted to do this video. Now I've had a few of you guys say to me, Kevin, I have taken a hammer, I have smashed my fins off trying to get this cylinder off this engine. So I'm here to help you guys with that. I've already started trying to show you guys this. This cylinder is stuck on here. You're not going to get that off. I've hit it with a dead blow hammer. It's just not coming off. So this is stuck on it, and I don't want to break any of my coolant fins because that is a good cylinder. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do this. You can see on the top there, let me just kind of focus you guys down a little bit here. Okay, how I got two nuts on it. I double nutted this one here. I'm starting with this one here. So I got two nuts. And you take the two nuts, you put them on there, and you tighten them together as tight as you can. Okay? Once the two nuts are tightened together, you're going to use a steel hammer. Okay? Make sure it's a steel hammer, not a little mallet type thing. Come on, I want to get this. There you guys go. Okay. So I take my hammer, and I hit right here. Down, tap it down to break it free, that particular stud, and then I put my wrench on there and I wrestle it. My God, it does not come out easy, but they come out. Okay, once it starts moving, it'll move. You can feel the rust in there with the stud. Okay, that particular stud is coming out. Now before it goes too far and it moves pretty nicely, you can loosen up that top nut. Okay, that just makes it a little easier for you. And then snug it again, but not too bad, just so you can move it. Like it'd be like hand tight. See all that rust and corrosion right there? That is where the cylinder is hanging up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do that to all. See, you just broke it free, no problem. With all these studs. Okay, so once you get them all out, it becomes a lot easier. Okay, so I removed the second one next to it, and now I'm having problems getting the other one out, even after hitting it with the hammer. So this one right here, this stud does not want to come out. So what do you do? What do you do in that case? I'm going to show you guys what you do in that case. You take your dead blow hammer. Now this right here was bought at Harbor Freight. It's a Pittsburgh. It's a cheapie. The reason why I don't really need anything big, because I can replace this thing dirt cheap, way cheaper than I can be if it was a Snap-on or a Mac or any of those. So this is one of those tools where it's throwawayable because you're going to break this thing. So anyway, hold it up like this and then whack on the end here with the hammer. What it will do is it will shock it loose. Don't be afraid of it. Put your hand here because it's going to spring back. If it doesn't loosen it up first. This is one of those ones that are just an absolute pain in the neck to get off. The other thing, if you can't get it off like that, you can heat it up with a torch. Now I'm just heating this thing up with a torch right now to free up any rust or anything like that that I can find. So while that's doing that, I'm going to have a talk with you guys. So many people buy Wiseco pistons. I buy Wiseco pistons myself. They are the top leader in pistons. Okay? They are a great company to give top quality pistons. This is an oversized piston. It's not going in here, but I wanted to tell you guys something. The materials that Wiseco uses are different from factory materials. Okay? The casting that they use to make these are slightly different than the factory ones. Okay, they can't be the 100% exact mold. That would be impossible. So they have different imperfections in them. Okay, so a lot of people take these pistons and they put the rings on, they lube them, they stick them on the connecting rod, and then they slide a jug right over them and they don't check them. So this series is going to be like a 2 to 3 part video, maybe 3, is going to be on the proper way to do a top end. Now I do some top end stuff that I had some videos, but I try not to give you guys all the information all at once. And a lot of times I see you guys putting these pistons onto a cylinder that hasn't been honed, on a cast iron one, not on a nickel style one. You can't do that with a nickel style, but on one that is like this one, which is cast iron, you need to hone the cylinder before you put that on there. So within the next video, we're going to be doing that. I'm going to show you guys how to hone that cylinder right there, and the purposes for this and what it actually does. Because putting a new piston on a semi-wooden cylinder, you can see the black ring on there, that's a ridge. Okay, you're going to ruin this piston. So I'm going to teach you guys the proper way of doing it. Right now we're trying to release this, what do you call it there, cylinder from the block itself. So that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this video, because it's an ongoing problem, and we kind of want to help you guys out and show you the proper techniques that I use to removing a cylinder, because you don't want to break off those coolant fins. If you break off those coolant fins, now you're going to have hot spots, and that's a whole other bag of worms. So we're going to shut that down. Does shut off. Yeah, this thing is not shutting off. Okay. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Let that burn itself out. And get back on this. Nope, not loosening. That stud is in there. So chances are that's probably going to be our problem child one right there. Well, let's see if we can get these nuts off and see if we can get at least that one out. That one is definitely in there. Way too tight. I'm going to let that cool, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we put the nuts on the second one, tightened them, and this one just turns right out. Okay, so I only have one real problem child one, which is that one right there. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead where it's only just one stud and see if I can shake it with the mallet. Yep, I can move it now. I can move it. So, the it will come out. Alright, now I can move it this way, where I couldn't do that before. It was just rock solid on there. So does that stud need to come out? Absolutely not. It can stay in there. It can be a pain in the neck, I don't care. So let's see if we can get this cylinder up and out. Now you never want to bang up or down on a coolant fin, because that right there could destroy it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a well, we can pick up on this right here and hit on the stud, see if that helps any. Nope, doesn't look like it's going to. So there is some corrosion around that particular stud, so that's what we're going to have to deal with. So I'm going to get some spray lube, some WD-40, and spray that in there and see if that helps. Okay, just using some regular WD-40. Kind of shoot all up in there, and then let that sit for a moment. Let's see if I can work the cylinder back and forth. And take those nuts off that stud. I'm just taking one of the nuts off the stud. Put it back on here. Well, a little difficult because I messed up the threads a little bit, but they will come clean right away, no problem. Okay, so now we got that in just past it. And now right there, let me see if I can get you guys back into the picture here. Here we go. Alright, so I got the nut just past the top of the stud, which is going to give me a place to tap on. Can't really see it, but now the cylinder is starting, where the gasket is, it's starting to separate. Okay, and I have one more trick up my sleeve. Okay, so once you get the gap, once you got the cylinder separating from the case, you want to put something in there to hammer in and wedge it apart. What do you use? You can't use steel, you can't use a screwdriver, you can't use a chisel. You can, however, use one of these. This is a log splitting wedge. It is made of plastic. This ain't gonna hurt nothing. So then, and I use this right here for splitting the case too. I just haven't had a chance to show you guys in the videos yet. But I use this right here for splitting cases. These come in handy, and if they break, who cares? Throw them away, go buy another one. Where can you get one of these? Well, you can get them at Tractor Supply. You can get them at any place that sells chainsaws and lumberjack type stuff. And they're plastic. The cool thing is if you chip it, you just take a file and make a new flat spot on it. you know. Stick that in the wedge. Boom. Move it around a little bit. Not going to hurt it. If you want to roll it around, you can. That's the cool thing about the wedges. Cool thing about the wedges is you're not going to break them. See, the plastic peels back on them. Who cares? Just take a flat file and bring them right back down to Chinatown. You know what I mean? But anyway, basically, you just got to keep working it back and forth. So, if you get up to a certain point, the other thing you can do is knock it back down. And do it again. Move it up. Like I said, you're not going to hurt it. Go, close it up. Don't beat on the surface. You can tap it down like that because you're not going to hurt it. But if you have to really hit it down like I did earlier, use something in between there and just give it to it. Okay? You don't want to damage that. Okay, and there you have it. You have a good cylinder right there. No broken fins. 100cc right there. See? Look at that, huh? Nice. Cylinder is scored right here. Right down bottom. This is why. If you look in the top part of the cylinder, it's not so bad. See if we can see any light. But if you look down further, it's really bad. And then if you look at the piston, let me move you over, guys. It's really bad. Okay? So what do we do in this case? We find out the cause. I mean, you can see this is on the what you call it, on the intake side. So this engine was ran without an air filter. It was ran with either out an air filter or it was ran without the side cover on it. That's how I know, because that's on the intake side, that all that damage is not on the exhaust side. Now, knowing the bike that this came off of, it was missing the engine side cover. They had the carburetor exposed. And this, my friends, see all these hot spots on the carburetor? This thing ingested some sand and dirt. Look at the crank. See the gold color? This thing right here basically sandblasted itself from not using an air filter. Now, I cleaned this area out before because I wanted to check this motor out and see how it did. It turned over, always turned over pretty good. And the piston rings aren't seized. I have heard this engine running. So, before, I wasn't sure what bike this came off of. This came off of a KM100. So, this particular motor, not the two I picked up, not the blue one and the green one, but I had one a while back. It was a like a dark yellow before I started doing the YouTube channel, and I believe this is the engine from it, 'cause I had this thing on the shelf for a long time. This thing ran but sounded kind of funny, and now I know why. I just pulled another motor off the shelf and threw it onto it. So this thing is dirt ingestion on the intake side. So the exhaust would be on the front, the intake would be on the back, and right there's a sure sign of that. Now, with that put aside, forget about that part of it, is the cylinder junk. No, this is a cast iron cylinder and it can be rebored. If the scratches aren't so deep, we can try honing it. This is a cylinder hone, called a bottle hone. This is a finishing one. I would need to buy another one that's a little bit more aggressive on the stones. See, I want you to picture these stones as sandpaper. These are what you use to cut through the steel on the cylinder, but you can't use one of these on a Nika style cylinder. So I'm going to stop the video right there. We're going to pick up tomorrow where we left off on this one, and we'll talk some more about it, and I'll possibly show you how this works. We'll try cleaning up that cylinder. So anyway, guys, I'm off. You guys have a great night, and thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, by all means, please send them my way. Thank you.